Hello and welcome to the Cubbears fan report for the 28th of April 2024. Thank you for watching, like, and subscribe. I'm glad the draft ended up pretty interesting for the Bears because the Cubs did not. The Cubs lost 17 to nothing. They had won 4 in a row and were playing some decent teams, and they had beat Boston the day before, but they got destroyed yesterday, and the pitching was not good behind Luke Little. He just couldn't throw strikes. Ben Brown started the game, and he was okay, not great. And he had a few balls go over that green monster, and the Cubs just could not play. And I'm glad the draft went well because I got more to say about the draft. The Cubs will play tonight. It'll be Sunday Night Baseball on national TV on ESPN, and that game should start at, I think, 6 Central Time, because you never know with these time zones how things are going to go. Anyway, Jordan Wicks was supposed to start, but it'll be Hayden Wisniewski because Jordan Wicks has forearm tightness, and we don't know what that's going to turn into. Justin Steele is going to be coming back soon after some rehab starts in the minors, and hopefully the Cubs can get to full strength. Let's talk about the draft. So, the draft turned out really well. They only drafted 5 guys, but they had to trade to get an extra draft choice yesterday. I was just kind of watching that alongside the Cubs game. As the Cubs game were getting destroyed, it was so much more easy to focus on the draft. As you know, the Bears drafted Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, who quickly hit it off and became friends. They flew on the airplane together to Detroit and ended up flying over to Chicago to meet the press. And Matt Eberflus, I got a good picture of him with Rome Odunze and Caleb Williams. They're going to be a great team. I'm going to call that combination K-Row on my photos when I call them my photos. Then the Bears drafted Kieran Emagaji. And that's going to take some learning how to spell that name, but I've almost got it. I have an easier time remembering his name than a lot of the names. I'm just terrible with names. He's a product of Hinsdale High School and went to Yale University. And apparently he introduced himself to Matt Eberflus last year at the golf course and said, "Hey, you're going to draft me next year." And sure enough, the Bears drafted him. And he's a long, tall, and athletic guy. And the Bears are going to have to develop him. But he's going to add some depth to that offensive line. Maybe be a swing tackle. And I think that's a big thing, though, because the Bears have not had much depth on the offensive line. They needed to develop that, and they have to protect their investment in Caleb Williams. Then the Bears surprised me because I'm like, who are they going to draft 4th? I figured they were going to get some defensive line help, and all of a sudden they announced they've drafted a punter, Torrey Taylor, out of Iowa, and he has a really interesting story. He has some ties to Chicago. What's nice is his girlfriend's from Chicago, so he is a Cubs fan, and he's from Australia. So he's going to say might and all this stuff. I think he's going to be a really popular guy. So I'm looking forward to him. That guy is an incredible punter. He single-handedly won football games. I watched all the highlights of him putting the ball inside the 5-yard line. That guy had a campaign. He won the Ray Guy Award, and he's got a T-shirt called Punting is Winning. He promotes something called Every Kick Counts, Count the Kicks. I was an obstetrician, and I always told my patients, make sure your baby's moving, and that's what he's doing. Make sure the baby's moving, because if there's a problem, the baby will stop moving, and you can deliver the baby before it's too late. And he's done a lot to prevent the loss of fetuses called fetal demise, if you want to know the technical term. And that's something I was constantly talking to my patients about. And that's something he's talking to everybody about. He started promoting it. And that guy can really punt. He's going to be a big part of the defense. And I've watched, he was putting people inside the 10-yard line 3 or 4 times a game sometimes. I lost count of how many punts he punted inside the 5-yard line. He could single-handedly win a game for Iowa because they were primarily a defensive team, not a big offensive team. And we're hoping we don't need him to punt all that much, but he is going to be a big part of the Cubbears fan report. He's going to be a Cub fan and be a Bear, the total Cubbear I'm looking forward to having him here. And normally I don't get excited about a punter, but he punted so well. He averaged 10 more yards per punt than Trenton Gill has been averaging. I remember when the Bears drafted Todd Sauerbrunn in the second round, and he got a lot of boos when he didn't pan out. So I'm hoping Tory Taylor does a good job of pinning people inside the 5. That could be a big deal with the defense that the Bears are sporting, and hopefully they don't have to punt too much. But if they do, Tory Taylor is going to set up the defense, especially in that weather. He's going to be a big weapon. Normally I wouldn't be that excited, but with a girlfriend from Chicago, I love watching the calls on YouTube, and I love what he did about the counting the kicks, and every kick counts. He's going to be a big celebrity with that Australian accent. Finally, the Bears drafted into the 5th round with the 144th pick. Tory Taylor went 122. The 144th pick, I was thinking the Bears needed some help in the trenches, and they drafted Austin Booker out of Kansas, who didn't start all that much. I think he only started one game, but he only took 505 snaps. But he had 8 sacks and 12 tackles for loss. So that guy was impressive in the short time that he played, and I think he's somebody who can really be developed into situational situations. So anyway, this is the Cubbears fan report. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and watch all those videos, because Tory Taylor is the most exciting punter I have ever seen. So I expect big things out of him. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Cubbears fan report. This is Mark Bertman, your Cubbears fan reporter.